This is part 2 of another video. You should probably watch part 1 if you don't want to be confused. Okay, let's talk about poses. You know that feeling you get when you have a really good stretch, and you just feel great afterwards? That's what a good pose should feel like. A weak pose feels more like wanting to stretch, but being too scared you'll pull a muscle if you do. When I'm building a pose, I usually break the thought process down into 3 main characteristics: flow, emphasis, and weight. If I follow all of these rules, usually I don't have to work so hard if I want to clean my animation up later in the process. Flow is whether or not you can draw a smooth line through your character's pose. It might sound like a really constricting requirement, but in practice it can help your pose look inexplicably cooler. Whenever you can, just take the time to see if your torso could line up with that leg just a tad more. Emphasis is self-explanatory. If you remember the last video, then you know that the audience has a very short amount of time to process every pose. Emphasis should be mandatory to anybody who doesn't want their animation to feel like a watered-down, sluggish mess. Weight is just the observation of physics. These models we work with are 100% weightless. How we handle weight in our animation determines if our animation is realistic or fantastical. But no matter what our desired result is, we have to imply that weight and let it influence the pose. The simplest example of this is a basic walk cycle. It seems like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people never realize that we shift side to side going from one leg to another. Just that simple concept can help you animate animals, machines, people, and other things that rely on the support of some kind of structure. Now the problem I see with Volume 4's first action sequence is the lack of flow, awkward emphasis, and the abuse of weight. The 2 most representative cases for this lack of flow is this one of RWBY standing with her crescent rose, and Nora, twice, holding her hammer. I remember watching the RWBY Volume 2 production diaries when they talked about video references and getting into character for motion capture. I have a hard time believing they still practice this, because if they did, it wouldn't have allowed for such an uncomfortable pose like this one. The problem with the emphasis in this scene is that you can really feel that the animators knew the animation needed emphasis but didn't know where to put it, or even how to place it in the scene without it being embarrassingly obvious. The emphasized pose is either held so long that it freezes the character in position, or it's so negligible that nobody could make the argument for it because it's virtually invisible. The worst part about this whole sequence is that everyone runs like they've got cement shoes. I can almost hear the lead animator saying, "Wow, that looks like garbage, don't make anyone else run." And then the animators naturally question how the characters are supposed to get around without using their feet. Make her teleport. Make him dash and jump ridiculous distances. He's comic relief. It's okay if he looks stupid running. I have to stop rushing my way through all these videos. Hey, my name is Cake. I'm very tired. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I really like RWBY. It probably isn't obvious, seeing as the only videos I've ever made about it are really negative, but it's a good show. I like it. I just like talking about animation. Anything else left to say? What'll happen if you don't subscribe?